Oh, shit. Here we go. Where am I? Wait a minute. Hey, g'day, g'day. It's Saturday.
Oh,
G'day.
I was talking to you and I just realized that I was muted. My bad.
We're live.
Oops.
G'day, everyone. It's Saturday again. What have we got for you today? I've had a change of studio, as you can see. What else is happening? What have we got for you today? Oh, yeah. We've got the Ides of March. And what they are, I really don't know. Polly told me about them, and I went, what's that? So I looked it up, and we're going to look at the Ides of March. My camera's somewhere else today because, like I said, my new studio. Anyway, what else have we got for you today? Ides of March. Oh, yeah. We have a UFO spot in Australia, if you didn't know that. It's called Wycliffe, and we're going to check that out. Unfortunately, I don't think it's open anymore, but there's a bit of history on that, so we're going to look at that after we look at the Ides of March and find out what that is. And what else? I hope you had a really good week, and sit back, chill out, have some fun with us for the next 2 hours, and let's get going. Let's see who we've got in our house guests. We got Jules is here. How do I get her up? Hang on, Jules.
And,
Oh,
and in the pink corner, Miss Jules.
yeah, in the first corner we got Jules in a pink jumper. In the second corner we got Polly in a black shirt. How you going, Polly?
Hello.
Welcome to Saturday. All right. So
Black is
really
befitting a champion, by the way.
black, yeah. What is it? Oh, that song come to my head, that champion song. All right, I want to say g'day to Joe in the chat room. G'day, Joe. How you going? As usual.
Hey, Joe. Hey, Rusty.
And g'day, Rusty. How you going, Rusty? Thanks for joining us. And Future Use and Polly.
Gee, I wonder who that future use person is.
I don't know. We should check them out, eh? Anyway, let's get going like we always do. What have I got? Let's pull up some Ides of March. But before we go, Polly, you absolutely floored me the other day when you talked about the Ides of March. I'd never, ever heard of it. I didn't even understand what you said. I had to ask you 3 times because I didn't know if I was hearing it right after I got the water out of my head from last week. The Ides of March, very interesting. They turned out to be interesting. So let's have a look at the Ides of March. Pull up my files. Hopefully my file system's better than last week. Ides of March. Where are they? No, I got it. Here we are. We got one. We got 2.
Yeah, I was just having a yarn with another friend before we came on, and we were talking about political affairs of today, and kind of I can see how they're a little similar to way back when with bread and circus and yada 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 and murder of a certain individual. Yeah, I mean, history repeats itself. We were talking about the warfare last week, and this is where it's evident. I mean, now, and I hope I don't get any bans or anything on your channel when I say this, but we were talking last week of that certain bad guy on. I mean, he was given that in his vitamins, and he was controlled.
Yep.
And I mean, it's no different. It's the same play that's played over and over again. They're going to keep at it.
Nothing's changed.
This is what makes me feel of the Ides of March. Okay. And maybe, and I admit I didn't have a chance to look a lot into this because when you have good friends, 3 hours goes by real fast.
Yeah, it does. Lucky to put the show back a little bit.
So, but the whole beware of the Ides of March, when we were talking about, that's, to me, in that context, that's what I feel that is. And this might be fuel for later on in the show, but I know that phrase, beware of the Ides of March, that's what I felt in the moment.
Okay. And it says beware of the Ides of March. Talk about that. Polly alerted me to this, so I'll just do a little read and then we'll have a bit of a yarn. What is the Ides of March? You may have heard the phrase beware of the Ides of March, but what is Ides and what's there to fear? The Ides is actually a day that comes about every month. I'm reading from Britannica, by the way. I could put it up on screen, but do you want me to put it up on screen? There's only a little bit. All right, so where were we? All right. The Ides is actually a day that comes every month, not just in March, according to the ancient Roman calendar, at least. The Romans tracked time much differently than we do now, with months divided into groupings of days counted before certain named days. The calends as the beginning of the month, that's Kalends. At the beginning of the month, the Ides at the middle, and the nones, Nes, between them. In a 31-day month, such as March, the calends was day 1, with days 2 to 6 being counted as simply before the nones. Gee, that's friggin' complicated. The nones fell on day 7, with days 8 to 14 being the Ides, and the 15th as the Ides. Does that make sense?
It makes sense, but
but it's very confusing.
What I read was that the Ides simply fall on the day of the full moon.
Yeah,
I read a lot of full moon connections.
It's got to do with the full moon.
Right. Well, this is saying that the Ides are actually the day. We'll break it down. So you've got a 31-day month, like March, and there's more to March, honestly. We need to look up the word March and have a look into it. So we got March, the calends, which I presume the word calendar would come from, was day 1, with days 2 to 6 counted as simple before the nons. We'll call it nons. All right. The nons fell on day 7, with days 8 and 14 being the Ides, and the 15th the Ides. So they pull apart. I still don't understand it, but this is Roman. So we must have got our calendar from this, somehow.
Some parts of it.
Yeah.
I don't think we got our exact calendar, but some parts of it.
Afterward, the days were counted as before the calends of the next month. In shorter months, these days were shifted accordingly. No wonder we've got all these extra time. Remember we was talking about them stealing time off us and that? This is chopping it up. This is like making chop suey, man. Wow.
And speaking of that, we did a show on the leap year, and it turns out this year the spring equinox, at least according to my North American calendar, says it's on the 19th. It's never on the 19th. But since we have an extra day, maybe that makes sense that it's on the 19th.
Yeah. So it says, you have probably heard of the Ides of March. However, because it is the day Roman statesman Julius Caesar was assassinated, the immortal words, beware of the Ides of March, are uttered in William Shakespeare, Julius Caesar, to the leader by a fortune teller. Other bad things have happened on March 15th, of course, but there's probably no reason to beware March Ides more than the Ides of any other month. I don't know, I reckon there is something in the air. There's something about
spring
that.
fever.
Yeah, well, it's not, so we're going into autumn. So we're going into shut down sleepy time. You're going into wake up time.
Julius Caesar didn't live in Australia, Luna.
No. As far as the world was concerned, Australia didn't even exist back then. I like them days.
Yeah, you guys were safe
Can
back
we be
then.
forgotten again? Hey, quickly, all the good people run over here and we'll be forgotten again. We'll put on the shroud of forgottenness and become an ancient land for the next 1,000 years. They can discover us in the future. All right, no, there's more on the Ides of March. It's kind of religious now. So we've got the calendar side. And I thought it was the moons as well. But obviously it's the dates in the calendar. So,
But I mean, also there is a kind of similarity between the spelling of the word Ides. If you just put a T in front of that, you get your tides.
yeah.
And they're
True.
tied to the moon as well. No pun intended.
Yeah, I know. Haha, can I laugh anyway? I wish I had my sound box. I wonder if you can hear it. I'll try it out. Hang on. I don't think you can. Oh, you got to be in a chat room to play it. Yeah, that don't work. All right. Anyway, so here's a bit more on the Ides of March, but it's a bit different. So this is from Wikipedia. I didn't find a lot, and I didn't have. It was late last night. I went swimming again. All right. The Romans did not number each day of a month from the first to the last day. Instead, they counted back from 3 fixed points of the month. Sorry.
Well, the phrase actually comes from from Shakespeare's play. According to the Ides of March, I can't remember. I can't tell you what dictionary this is from, but I'm like taking an interest, and I found some articles, but I haven't looked at any of them. That's because the Ides of March history, there's an article from history.com, learn about the historical events and significance of the Ides of March, the date Julius Caesar was stabbed to death by 60 conspirators in 44 BC. Find out how this date became famous for the Ides of March and why it was important for the Roman Republic and the rise of Augustus.
I wonder if they had a word such as conspiracy theorists back then.
And then history.com also has an article called Beware the Ides of March, the origin, meaning, and pop culture. And they got a lot of, almanac.com, the Ides of March, meaning and Shakespeare connection.
I've got a bit here. It explains the days again, but in a different way. Like they're similar to what I just said, but
I mean, the National Geographic tries to explain it. What is it, and why do we still observe it?
Actually, just reading this little bit about trying to explain the days and how they've done it. The reason I'm laughing is it's so bloody confusing. I thought our culture was confusing, but that's confusing. All right, well, I'll read a little bit of this, and then you can pull up an article if you want, Jules.
Sure, if you want me to. I'm just saying that there's stuff out there. Like I'm saying, I was looking into it, and then I got distracted.
Yeah, weekends are like that. That's what it's about. Saturday, just chill out. Oh, it's Friday over there, but what's the same as Friday, Saturday, Friday night, Saturday?
You get an early Catterday over there.
We do. So it says here, they counted back from the 3 fixed points of the month, the nones, which is the 5th, the 7th, and 8 days before the Ides. The Ides are the 13th for most months, so that's kind of fixed. But the 15th in March, May, July, and October are the calends, first of the following month. Originally, the Ides were supposed to be determined by the full moon, reflecting the lunar origin of the Roman calendar. In the earliest calendar, the Ides of March would have been the first full moon of the new year. That's where your full moon comes in.
That's where I got my information from that.
So they did do it originally, and then they separated it. They should have kept it natural. And then I found out the religion part of it. The Ides of March each month were sacred to Jupiter, the Roman supreme deity. Jupiter, high priest, led the Ides sheep, whatever that is. Oh, the Ides sheep to where it was sacrificed. See, this is about sacrificing again. It always goes dark, doesn't it? It always goes dark. Anyway.
Well, that's where they chose the Ides of March to murder Julius Caesar. There's a reason why they chose that. day to murder him.
Sacrifice. Obviously, he was well, they sacrificed a sheep, but obviously they made a human sacrifice and they got a bit overboard and got carried away with their celebration. Right. It always goes dark, man. We need more light in the world. Anyway, in addition to the monthly sacrifice, the Ides of March was also the occasion of the feast of Anna Perenna, a goddess of the year. In Latin, it's A-N-N-U-S, Annis. Oh, you could say it different if you add an Australian accent to that. Whose festival?
What, you mean like a noose?
Yeah.
A noose? Is that what you mean? I don't know what you mean. And I'm not even going to bother.
And us. How's that? There's a mob here called Ewan. I'm Camilla Overedgery, and this mob's Ewan. And to remember the name, I always go you and me. That's to remember the name of the mob.
I have a cousin named Ewan.
Huh? Do you always go you and me go here?
No.
No. You got to remember, we butcher everything as far as language goes. I have to say, Australians must be like the police of language. All the bullshit, we'll just butcher everything, and the truth will stand out because everything else will get butchered by our accent. All right, back to reality. Hang on. The day was enthusiastically celebrated among the common people with picnics, drinking, and revelry. One source from late antiquity also places the Marala of the Ides of March, the observance which has aspects of scapegoat or ancient Greek pharmakos ritual. Here we go, it's getting dark again. Involved beating an old man dressed in an animal skin and perhaps driving him from the city. Well, that's really loving and kind, isn't it? The ritual may have been a New Year festival representing expulsion of the old year.
Poor bastard.
Sorry for laughing, but it's fair
Well, it's kind of weird, isn't it?
Imagine we did that everywhere. Yeah, there's your old person population gone. They're talking about getting rid of the population. We'll just bring some old customs back.
Yeah, right.
All right.
This was a really quick article. It was a quick read.
Yeah, do that. Thanks.
But it ties in, and I tried posting it in chat, but it's not letting me post it. This says comment failed to post. I'll just read you this because it's fairly short. Beware of the Ides of March, but why? From ancient Rome to its portrayal in popular culture, Shakespeare's famous phrase has long carried evolving symbolism and enduring significance. You've probably heard the soothsayer's warning to Julius Caesar in William Shakespeare's play of the same name, beware the Ides of March. Not only did Shakespeare's words stick, but they also branded the phrase and the date March 15th with a dark and gloomy connotation. It's likely that many people who use the phrase today don't know its true origin. In fact, just about every pop culture reference to the Ides, save for those appearing in actual history-based books, movies, or television specials, make it seem like the day itself is cursed. The Ides of March meaning in ancient Rome. The Ides of March actually has a non-threatening history. Calenids, nuns, and Ides were ancient markers used to reference dates in relation to lunar phases. Ides simply referred to the first full moon of a given month, which usually fell between the 13th and 15th. In fact, the Ides of March once signified the new year, which meant celebrations and rejoicing. Because calendar months and lunar months were different lengths, they quickly got out of step. Yet when heroes in movies, books, or television shows are faced with the Ides of March, it's always a bad omen. Several television shows have had episodes named the Ides of March, and it's never good news. The Ides of March in pop culture. In 1995, the Ides related episode of Party of Five was based around a cocaine related death and feared a non incident involving drunk driving. Xena Warrior Princess had its protagonist facing threats from an omnibus vision that showed her and her travel partner Gabrielle put to death by crucifixion. And Homer Simpson's rise to power within the ancient secret society known as the Stonecutters in the Simpsons episode Homer the Great leads to his self-proclamation as a god. In warning of his inevitable downfall, Lisa plays the part of the soothsayer, quoting, "Beware the Ides of March." Homer simply says no and laughs it off, much like Caesar did in the play, but like Caesar, he soon experiences a swift undoing.
Wow.
And just in sync with this article, I am wearing an Ides of March shirt. Unintended, it just happened to be that way.
Cool. Wow. So there is something to say about March. Good pick, Polly. So Polly, let's hear from you before I finish reading that article.
Well, some things that I noticed about, like when I latched onto that whole first full moon of, like, I don't think there's more than one full moon in any month, but maybe there was at some point.
Sometimes they're all, that's why it's called
the full moon in March this year is not until the 25th, which is a good bit after the Ides of March, according to my calendar. So I'm wondering if, like what you were saying about, like, you know, everything kind of got like out of step. I don't think they ever really successfully put it back, because the moon does this cycle. It's fairly regular, but if the Ides of March were on the 15th back in Julius Caesar's day, then clearly our calendar's running a little bit late.
Wow. Yeah. Wow.
So I found that, and I still think there might be, like, the word itself, the IDES, is found in so many other words, like confide.
Yes.
And I don't know if that has anything to do with the moon or anything like that, but I know the tides definitely do. And you should beware of some high tides, right? Because they can be dangerous. They have rip tides too.
This particular article I just read, again, was from history.com. They updated this to February 27, 2024. So this article, the information on here, it's been recently reviewed because it was originally printed this March 13th, 2017.
Okay.
So it's fairly current.
Yeah. So
I think it'd be interesting to look back if there's a way I can. I don't know how to do this yet, but go back to all the different marches of the past and see when the full moon was.
I wonder if anybody's done that in archive.com.
you used to be able to get a orrery simulation, and you could turn the orrery backwards in time to specific dates, and you'll see where everything was on that day. I tried to get it again the other day, but that was years ago that I saw it, and you can pay for an orrery. And for those that don't know what an orrery is, it's a computer, well, you can get real ones, but this one's a computerized thing of all the planets and the sun and the moon, and it's connected to a counter, so you can put a date in forward or backwards, and it'll position all the planets, the moon and everything to what it was on that date. That's what you need, Polly, so you can go back and check.
Yeah.
I haven't found a free one though, a free orrery.
It would be interesting to see if the full moon in March steadily starts going backwards. Like, I mean, this year it's the 25th. Maybe like 10 years ago it was on the 24th.
Yeah, because we only just had a full moon here for February, which just finished. I'll check out the next one, which will be the March full moon. Everyone run outside and check out the moon. And you know, people, one day me and Polly were talking online, and I said to him, the moon's outside and it's morning here when it's night there. And Polly goes, how can that be? I'm looking at the moon. Now, Polly lives in Canada and I live in Australia, and we're looking at the moon at the same time.
There might be a way that's possible. I feel like that's not supposed to happen.
It's not supposed to happen.
Shouldn't the world be in the way?
Yes, something should be in the way if it's that shape. But I think it's more like that than that. Anyway, back to
I thought maybe you were just looking at a different moon, because I've seen pictures of a moon, and I can't verify whether they've been computer generated or not, but it's definitely not the moon I look at every night.
Well, what happens if it's just a hologram and they got two projectors?
Yeah, they could.
Yeah, it could be.
It's hard to land on a projector, though, isn't it?
Yeah. Did they? You never know, man. There's so much BS, and like you don't know what in what land anymore. That's why I say just stick to what's around you and what you know is real, because there's too much.
The U.S. lander that they just landed on the moon a couple of days ago, or a week ago, something like that, very recently, apparently tripped over a rock and now it's fallen over and can't get up. Because they designed this robot or whatever it is it has legs instead of.
Yep.
Like who thought of that was a good idea?
Push them over. I don't like them. For those of you that don't know me, I absolutely do not like robots, and I don't like technology, and the fact that I'm here is a miracle. But robots, no. And I figured all these ways out in my head, and one of them's tripping them over, because they can't get back up.
Well, the one on the moon couldn't get back up.
And I know, I've got a feeling that our natural gifts, for those that are still natural in this day and age, interfere with their programming somehow, because I actually ran into one of those waiter ones, the waiters that come around, and I stood there and stared at it. It froze. It actually froze up for a while, and then I said to it, you can go now, and it started moving. And that was the first time I met them, and that was the encounter I had. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. The war against robots. That's another show. That's another show. Anyway, back to Ides. We went off on a side stream. So the Ides of March, they do a monthly sacrifice in the old days. We're looking at the religious aspects. In the later imperial period, the Ides began a holy week of festivals celebrating Cybele and Attis, being the day Cana in the reed enters. We'll just say that.
Do you know what else starts around the same time?
What?
On the 11th this year is the beginning of Ramadan.
Oh, right.
So that's a coincidence. It's
Yeah,
near the Ides of March, isn't it?
Yeah, it makes you wonder, because things are tied up with little threads that connect them all.
Yeah.
Yeah. All I keep seeing are these dudes sitting around going, let's make a big plan.
And St. Patrick's Day is near the Ides of March.
Yeah.
So beware of St. Patrick's Day, and I always am.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I could get drunks walking around all over the place over here.
I forgot about that part.
Yeah.
There's another history would have you believe that a man literally drove out snakes out of Ireland when it wasn't snakes he was exterminating. It was actual people, the ancient peoples, the Celts, the Wiccans, who had that ancient knowledge.
Yeah, right.
They were the ones that were considered serpents, and they were the ones that were burned at the stake for heresy. That's the St. Patrick that everybody celebrates.
Okay.
Geez, with saints like that, who needs demons?
Right?
Yeah, and who's who these days? Like, that's what I mean. You don't know what the truth is there. You just stay away from it till you find out what's going on. When Atlas was born and found on the day of the reeds, he was discovered by shepherds of the goddess Cybele, who was also known as the Magna Mater, Great Mother. A week later, on the 22nd of March, the solemn commemoration of Arbor Intra, the tree enters. Commemoration of the death of Addis under the pine tree, a college of priests, they're called tree bearers, annually cut down a tree, hung from it an image of Attis, and carried it to the temple of the Magna Mater with laminations. The day was formalized as part of the official Roman calendar under Claudius. A 3-day period of mourning followed, culminating with celebrating the rebirth of Attis on 25th of March, the date of the vernal equinox of the Julian calendar. Okay, so that's that section. So we're celebrating people that passed away, if you believe, if that's your religion. Oh, it's really foreign to me. It feels really foreign to me. All right, and then we got the assassination of Caesar. Do you want to hear about that?
Yeah, go on. Allegedly, that's what they're telling us.
Yeah, I mean,
the conspiracy theorists back
I
in
think
the day.
actually the conspiracy.
This is where it makes me think of today.
Honestly, I have a hunch, and I could be wrong about this, but I do believe that the origin of the word conspiracy comes from Julius Caesar being murdered. But I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But for some reason, my brain says, "Oh, hey, remember that little useless piece of trivia?"
I'm gonna have to phone a friend on this one, or use a lifeline.
Well, they made a little
audience to do it 50-50.
See, EIDMAR, Ides of March. That's what they made for Caesar. Caesar salad. They made a Caesar salad for him as well.
You have one at least every March.
There you go. You got every Caesar salad.
I could eat one of them every day. I like Julius
We named
Caesar
a drink after him here.
salad.
It says in modern times.
Oh, go get an orange Julius.
Oh yeah, the orange man. In modern day, I'm wearing orange. Is that, you know? Must have been subliminal. In the modern days times, the Ides of March is best known as the date on which Julius Caesar was assassinated in 44 BC. Caesar was stabbed to death at a meeting at the Senate. As many as 60 conspirators, where's my soundboard? Led by Brutus, Cassius, were involved, according to Plutarch. A seer had warned that harm would come to Caesar on the Ides of March, on his way to the theatre of Pompeii, where he would be assassinated. Caesar passed the seer and joked. He thought it was bullshit. Well, the Ides of March are come, implying that the prophecy had not been fulfilled, to which the seer replied, "Aye, they are come," or "A," as we'd say it, "A, they're coming." But they are not gone. This meeting is famously dramatised in William Shakespeare's play Julius Caesar, when Caesar is warned by the soothsayer to beware of the Ides of March. The Roman biographer Suetonius identifies the seer as a haruspice named Spirina. All right. Caesar.
That was interesting, except they didn't tell you that the Senate had made Julius Caesar dictator for life, and that's why he was assassinated.
Oh, there you go. So they went back on what they said.
No, I mean, it's not that they went back on it. I mean, I've used that particular source you're using for a while, and they put what previous generations have had in their history and haven't looked into it or edited or modified it or anything. It's designed that way.
Oh, yeah.
Because, I mean, I found an article using an alternate search engine. I mean, and it does talk about the calendar and how March 15th is kind of similar. It kind of falls in between. It would be the equivalent today of March 15th if we comparing the two calendars. And then a brief mention in this, it has a little article, a subset called A Warning. In 44 BCE, Julius Caesar's rule in Rome was in trouble. Caesar was a demagogue, a ruler who set his own rules, frequently bypassing the Senate to do what he liked. And finding the supporters in the Roman proletariat and his soldiers, the Senate made Caesar dictator for life in February of that year. But in truth, he had been the military dictator governing Rome since 49. When he returned to Rome, he kept his stringent rules. According to Roman historian Simonius, the Harpusex, she was a seeress, Spirina, warned Caesar in mid-February 44, telling him that the next 30 days were to be fraught with peril, but the danger would end on the Ides of March. When they met on the Ides of March, Caesar said, "Are you aware, surely, that the Ides of March have passed?" And Spirina responded, "Surely you realize that they have not yet passed."
So they got him. They planned it.
And then why Caesar had to die, there were said to be several plots to kill Caesar for a multitude of reasons. According to Stromonius, the Sibyline oracle had declared that Parthia could only be conquered by a Roman king, and Roman consul Marcus Aurelius Cotta was planning to call for Caesar to be named king in mid-March. Senators feared Caesar's power and that he might overthrow the Senate in favor of general tyranny. Brutus and Cassius, the main conspirators in the plot to kill Caesar, were magistrates of the Senate, and they could not be allowed to either oppose the crowning of Caesar nor remain silent. They had to kill him.
There you go. This doesn't pay to power, does it? This article that's on the screen, it says they killed 300 senators and equites, whatever they are, who had fought against him. The executions were one of the series of actions taken by Octavian to avenge Caesar's death. It says it characterises slaughter as a religious sacrifice. Yeah. There you go. Nothing happy about that, is it? Eh?
I'm wondering if any other leaders were assassinated on the Ides of March, or is this just like a one-off?
And then before Caesar went to the theater of Pompeii to attend the Senate meeting, he had been given advice not to go, but he did not listen. Doctors had advised him not to go for medical reasons, and his wife Calpurnia also did not want him to go based off troubling dreams that she had. On the Ides of March, 44 BCE, Caesar was murdered and stabbed to death by the conspirators near the theater of Pompeii where the Senate was meeting. Caesar's assassination transformed Roman history, as it was a central event in marking the transition from the Roman Republic to the Roman Empire. His assassination resulted directly in the Liberator's Civil War, which was waged to avenge his death. With Caesar gone, the Roman Republic did not last long and was eventually replaced by the Roman Empire, which lasted approximately 500 years. The initial 2 centuries of the Roman Empire's existence were known to be a time of supreme and unprecedented stability and prosperity. The time period came to be known as Roman peace.
Well, I tried to look up assassinations in March, and I thought, there's a lot of assassinations. Just look up assassinations, man, and you get all this information. I tried to specify it, the month of March, and all I got were Australian politicians.
Oh, wow.
It came up Australian politicians. So they only killed me. Well, that's weird. All right. So there you go. The Ides of March. That only took us half an hour.
And we gave you a 2-week warning, everybody.
Yeah. So you have a warning, come up.
Yeah, so you can get ready.
Get ready and watch out for the Ides of March.
Try not to get assassinated.
When you first said it, Polly, I thought that it was like an actual thing that comes out and you've got to be careful of it.
That's why I think it might be related to the tides.
I didn't know it was like a calendar date stuff. Oh, okay. Alrighty then. All right. So the Ides of March. I'll
Yeah, I definitely I learned some stuff. Thank you for the suggestion.
I'll never forget it.
I would have liked to learn more, but I'm learning right now.
Yeah, there's not a lot to know about it. Basically, that's what it is. It's to do with
There's
the
a lot
calendar.
to March.
Yeah.
Daylight savings time in Canada is in March.
Yeah.
Ramadan begins. St. Patrick's Day, spring equinox, Palm Sunday, Easter.
Oh,
Well, Easter Sunday's in March this year, but
isn't it Ashtar? Not Easter.
yeah. Why is Good Friday in March? That's weird. That's never in March.
As I know, Groundhog Day is the middle of the winter solstice and the spring equinox.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's literally
the middle's going to change every 4 years, Jules, because it's a leap year.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and that perhaps goes into the Ides of March because the calendar that they were using, we just approximate it with our calendar.
The Ides of March. I'll never forget that. Now,
it's a bit of a mess.
When creepy things are going to happen, I'm going to go, the Ides. It's the Ides.
Yeah, that's what you should say now from now on. It's the Ides. The Ides.
That's for the Ides.
You start wearing a patch over one eye.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure there's a good meme out there for the Eyes of March.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were saying yesterday, the Eyes of March. And I'm thinking, what eyes? Oh, it's getting hot here, man. It's really humid here today. Oh, woohoo. All right, what are we going to do now? So I've got a beautiful things because we're going to move to the UFO place in Australia, which no one knew we had. But before we do that, I want to show you I made beautiful things again so we can have a break. Where are we at? Oh, all right, we're going to have a 2-second break because I need to. Where are we?
I'm gonna say if you're putting on some tunes, because I can't even do like a hum a commercial. You could probably get a copyright.
No, I did. Hang on. I just got to sort myself out. Watch this. I've been busy.
All right, 1 Mississippi,
40 minutes.
2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi.
All right, thanks. I'm going.
Do 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 do. Because I know when you're doing radio, dead air is never a good thing. So I'm trying to occupy this airspace, even at the risk of making myself a fool for the betterment of my people and friends.
Sorry, I forgot.
I humbly sacrificed my stupidity on this altar for your enjoyment.
I forgot to put music on for you. All right, what do we got? Let's go. Oh, no. There you go.
We'll be back.
I'm back. Hang on. There we go.
Me too.
Thanks for that, everyone. I needed that small break. And it's starting to rain, so it's cooling down here now. Okay, beautiful things. Let's have a look at some beautiful things before we go on, because after I'm so it seems nearly every article that I read of late has this really dark side to it. So let's look at something beautiful, shall we? Oh, what have I done? Hang on. Here we are. Beautiful things. Let's have a look. There you go. I thought that was beautiful because it was just funny. It's actually a real draw. It works. I should wait for Polly to get back in like
The
that.
time that it would take to make that.
Yay. What else have we got? That's his family. That was it on its own. That's his family.
Wait, you didn't tell me that they were a nesting doll set.
They are. It's a big family of wonky drawers. All right. So, yeah, just some beautiful stuff. Look at that bird. Oh, I'm going to have to play these back for Polly. I'll flick back through them.
Oh, I wish I could drop stuff in your chat, but StreamYard's not letting me do it. I found a video. It's 8 hours HD high definition on YouTube. Over 8 hours of squirrels, chipmunks.
Squirrels. I love squirrels.
It's for cat TV, and the girls were watching it, and then Rowan got bold enough and went to the TV, and it was like, all right, enough. But the quality, and if you're into birds, bird watching, it's fantastic. Just activity for cats is an added bonus. There are a lot of the depth and the clarity, and I bring that up because you're going over beautiful things right now.
Yeah. And you know what? If my family lived in America, we'd have squirrels as pets all over the house, probably.
Well, I appreciate squirrels, and I was mesmerized by. I've been living on the East Coast for so many years, and then I saw one squirrel in California not too long ago, and I was amazed by how different it is, even though it's in the same country. Squirrels on the West Coast are brown and rustic looking, and they're the ones I see over here are more of a gray.
Oh, yeah. I'll quickly play these back for you, Polly, because I wanted to see the wonky draw and his family. And we're up to here. I thought they were, when I first saw them, I thought someone got emus and went over it, but it's an actual real animal. They're real.
Wow.
They're real. Yeah, amazing, hey? Beautiful. And that's fungus, Polly.
Wow.
That is fungus, isn't it? Is it, what's fungus? Yeah, that's a kind of fungus. They found it near the water. It actually was in an article, had a little article attached to it that should we tell the water people that they found that in the water.
Is that like the brain-eating amoeba fungus?
I don't know. It's just so beautiful. That's why I put it on. And then that bird, I didn't think that was real, but that's real. These are real animals. There's one picture that's not real. It's a tree house. It's someone's imagination.
That
Well,
does
it's
those.
This makes me think of flamingos and how flamingos aren't necessarily pink. They're pink because it's the stuff that they eat.
They're pretty. They look like parrot kind of. I had to chuck them in.
Yeah, those are nice.
They're beautiful, hey. There's so much beautiful stuff in the world.
As Borat would say, it's nice.
Yeah, got to look at some beautiful things in between all the rest of the junk that we look at every day. That's pretty. Yeah.
Is that an animal?
Oh, that's a sea urchin, like a sea urchin.
Wow.
We get heaps of colourful things like that here. And the
it.
more colourful they are, the more poisonous they are. We've got this little tiny octopus. It's like only that round. It's really, really tiny. And it's got blue rings on it, these electric blue rings, but it's highly poisonous, man. It's so cute and beautiful. You want to pick it up and go, oh, but it's highly poisonous. It bites you, you die. That's not real. I think that's someone's interpretation of a beautiful treehouse. Imagine living in that, eh? As long as you didn't get white ants.
I'll bet you that's just AI's interpretation of it. Someone
Possibly.
queried it.
Now, if they wanted the human race to live in something like that, I think we'd be accommodating. Oh, look, someone went and made that, man. That's in someone's house. Check it out.
That would freak me out.
Coming home drunk at night.
Oh my gosh, I can just see the Southern people coming in. Roll Tide! If you're from the South, you'll get that.
And I've got more. Check this out. I've got more stuff. Oh, just got
I have a second set of parents in Alabama. I got that.
I grew up in Mississippi. I know all about Alabama and Bear Bryant.
Oh, where are we? We've got so much stuff up here now. That's real. That's not an interpretation. Imagine living there. A bit scary, but I wouldn't actually live in that. It's a bit scary. Look at that.
How do you know if they're real or not? Does it just say next to it if it's real or not real on the caption or something?
Some of them do, and some of them don't. I don't know. Maybe it's
that looks a bit unsafe.
Yeah, that's what I said. It looks scary. And the tide comes in. Yeah, I wouldn't live there.
What happens if you have like one nacho too many and you kind of need to?
You could swim in.
You need to expel some air. Would you break all the windows?
Yeah, you might. I don't know. I like that. Imagine having a fence like that. Eh? Imagine prison fences being like that. You'd have a happy day.
I'd rather have a fence made out of sunflowers.
Yeah, check that out. They're not
real
real
ones.
But yeah, they're not real. It's all pretend. It's still beautiful, beautiful art. Oh, check that out. When I saw that, I thought that is amazing. This guy just goes along the beach and makes all these sculptures and patterns. Next week we're on more beautiful things. I'll show you more. I didn't put everything, obviously.
That's funny. I saw a guy today from this 85-year-old made a map of Scotland using the same technique with all the little pebbles. Wow. But he actually went to the places to get the rocks to make the map like geologically accurate. It took him 20 years.
Wow. Yeah, it would have took a long time. So here we got.
Oh, that's cool.
Isn't it? Yeah. There's a whole heap of them too. I'll grab them all next week.
I wonder how you even make something that small.
Oh, you ought to be talented. Check it out. I chuck that one in for you, George.
Excellent.
And that's actually, I think that's an elephant tooth, and I couldn't get a close up of it, but if you get a close up, there's actually, it's all.
That's the Colosseum almost, isn't it?
It's beautiful, yeah. It's absolutely beautiful.
I wonder what kind of tools he used to make that.
I don't know. The old gifted craftsmen that are dying out. Young people go and learn a trade, an old-fashioned trade.
You could 3D print that, no problem, if you knew how to use something like ZBrush, or I'm not sure if Photoshop will do it, but I know ZBrush will definitely do it.
And that's actually an albino bat, but he got mixed up, and he come out pink, black and white.
An upside down Siamese cat.
Normally they're all white or all black, but he's like somewhere in between. For all of us that are in between. And that's just a light. You know, things travel on the light. You know, in the light there are things, and when you look at stuff like this, you can kind of get your head around what they possibly could be. If that makes any sense. And I had to chuck that in. Isn't it cute?
It looks like Johnny number 5.
Have a good day.
Need more input.
And yeah, how's that? If we acted more like that, the world would be in better shape.
I mean, that's a beautiful picture, though. I mean, the subject matter, but the reflection. I like that picture.
And then we ended with that. So blessings to everyone. There's love to all those that we've lost, and prayers for all that are be left behind. All right, so let's get on to something interesting now. I'll just get rid of that. See my thing, move from studio. Stop sharing, reshare. Excuse me for a minute, everybody. All right, we want to go to 1 minute.
Where are you taking us to?
We're going to Wycliffe, the outback of Australia, to look at some UFO.
Nice.
I've just got to sort out my stuff here.
Cool. So while you're doing all that, I'm having a brain fog. And before I forget, if anybody's available tomorrow, I am going to be on IBN with Polly. And we are going to be doing stuff 1986. Maybe some music, yarn. We're just going to go where the vibe takes us. We'll be starting tomorrow at 2 p.m. 2-ish tomorrow on the East Coast time.
You can show up whenever you like, Jules.
I'll be there.
The door's always open in the greenhouse.
Hopefully the windows too. It does get awfully nice and toasty in there.
Yep. Oh, it's gonna be good. There's already so much good music, but I don't know if we're gonna have time to play all of it. We'll just because there's movies, there's all kinds of stuff. I remember. It feels like 1986. I remember more of it.
I mean, it seems like every episode that we do, we never have enough time. So I can't speak for you, but for me, it's seeming like we're just doing the 80s, and then we're going to have to come back and do them again because there's so much. We'll just do the 80s and then do a couple of other stuff or whatever, and then revisit the 80s.
I say
I found more
past
stuff,
the 90s.
I found more stuff after we do these. It's like that was perfect.
And you know, I forgot all about the 80s, and then when you started doing your shows, my memories all come back. It's like, man,
I forget the 80s. I've heard people tell me that that's like the best time is the 80s, and then the 90s when it started to go downhill.
Okay.
I agree.
So here we have the strange story of Australia's outback UFO capital. I'm going to show you this little article, and then I found a little something to look at, which has a bit more stuff in it, like older stuff. So this says that this article's from Vice. So just so I don't get in trouble with dirty things. All right, we stumble across Wycliffe well on the way down to Alice Springs, which is in our desert up in the Northern Territory, which I went to not long ago, last year. Nearly everybody does. The petrol is cheap, and it's another 250 kilometres until you'll see toilets. So you'll pull over and think it's standard roadhouse. Then you'll discover it's not. And believe me, out there, the stops between places is really long. So if anyone opened a place up out there, you'd do really well.
So you're saying it's like traveling through Texas. You might not see another opportunity to go.
Actually, yeah, when I see people that are in Texas, and I watch their stuff, other YouTubers that live in Texas, and I see things in Texas, it really reminds me of Australia a lot, in just that little bit of area. But then when you get to the green zone, it's different again. So, but that's just the outback. Okay, Wycliffe well feels like an abandoned theme park. The roadhouse main facade is coated in a flaky space blue paint and detailed with galaxies and exploding stars. There's a derelict train out the back, a lake, dozens of rusting alien-shaped mannequins and ruined sculptures inside a cavernous restaurant, its walls covered with hundreds of laminated UFO-related newspaper clippings. White lettering above reads, "Welcome to Wycliffe Well UFO Centre of Australia." So there's...
Yep. Looks like my kind of place. I'd have to stop there for sure.
Oh, look, your name's written on the wall. It's all a bit sad. Everything is broken. Yeah, this is the thing. We had that thing a couple of years ago that no one talks about. And we were all locked down and locked up. And why that happened, this place went to wreck and ruin because the mobs that were further out in country, they suffered more because they were so far away from everything and everything was shut. So everybody suffered. And right now it's closed down. So if anyone goes and resurrects it, good on you. Means resurrecting. Yeah, where was I? It was all a bit sad. It's broken, faded, and unloved. I went into the restaurant and asked the owners what it was all about, but they didn't seem to know much. They just said it was originally developed by a guy named Lou Farkas, who tried to capitalise on Whitecliff's wells, notoriously as the spot of UFO sightings. Oh, right. There have been UFO sightings around Wycliffe, hang on, well for decades. Wycliffe Well, that's what it's called. Google it and you'll find lots of stories and even more theories. My particular favourite is these unidentified objects are attracted to Wycliffe because of its cosmic alignment and landforms, tectonic plates and man-made structures. Tectonic plates, Australia's on one big plate. We're one giant plate. That's why we don't have much earthquakes. Anyway, I left the place feeling curious and I wanted to know who this Lou Farkas was and why he built and abandoned such a weird place. All right, so there it is. I got something really juicy after this. That's why I'm kind of home now. It's just pointing, there's ET pointing up. Phone home. Oh, sorry, phone home's that way, not that way. Because they live here, right? Lou Farkas. I was first arrived in Wycliffe in 1985. It was supposed to be a 5-year experiment, but 5 years turned into 25 years. The problem being that during that time, I just kept on investigating in the place. Place reminds me of an old abandoned theme park. Why is it always like that? No, everything was full on when I was there. The Galaxy Auditorium was 300-seat restaurant. There was a stage. When we had shows in there, I also brought the train over from the Grampians. It used to be a tourist train and it was a job and a half getting it over here. My stepfather came out and was my train driver. I drove it back and then around the lake, which filled the Barramundi. All right, a bit more. Famalians. That's funny. Famalians for the. A lot of stuff happens here, I'll tell you, people. Like you ask any average Aussie, especially living around the mountains or in the outback, they'll tell you this. Everyone's seen something. We just don't make a big deal of it because it happens all the time. They call, they do their thing, we do ours. I even said that to one of them one day, just around the corner. It kind of appeared, and I looked at it and went, well, I know what you are, and you know what I am, now what? And then it just went out dark like a light, and it wasn't there anymore. So that's how casual we look at them. Polly's laughing. Hey, I can just see them. They get off their ship and they arrive, and we go, come over here in a Barbie, mate. Mate, no big deal at all. Just fit in with the rest of us. You'll be right. Okay.
I'd be holding up my thumb.
For a lift.
Yeah.
Like this guide to the galaxy.
Why'd you guys leave me here?
Yeah. What did you dump us all here for and piss off?
Like that was very cool.
Look kind of green.
ET with me, left me here.
That's something I want to know about. When I was growing up, they'd talk about the little green men, right? There were no aliens as we know today and stuff like that. They didn't really even call them that. They called them Martians or stuff and little green men. There's no little green men anymore.
When I was a kid, my favorite Martian, it wasn't on syndicated TV, but almost every episode, or you would always frequently see the Great Gazoo on the Flintstones.
Oh yeah,
that was like the earliest science fiction programming for me was the Flintstones, the Great Gazoo.
Hey, check this out. When we went to Uluru last year, we stopped at a hotel in the middle of nowhere, and it was literally made like that. There was your air conditioner. It was in the middle of nowhere. They were all little huts made like that. They were really old. But that was, you don't have a lot of choice when you're out there. There's not much. All right. So The fella started it. He tried to make it a lucrative business. Obviously, it didn't really work much, and he got caught up in all the happenings there, which happened. You're too busy living, right, and what's really happening. Yeah, and this is just an interview with the guy. There's the shop, and a lot of the pubs out there look like this. Nothing flash in Australia. What kind of tourists came? Whoever needed to get petrol and have a rest and get a drink. I know Jules would have went there.
I would have.
Diaries. All right. So this just talks about that. I actually want to go.
Why not do something whimsy? I mean, you only live on in this plane once.
One life at a time. That's what I say. You got one life at a time, so make the best of it. Often, that's another. We're going to talk about that one day because I often think about that. Other lives in one life at a time. So they got used to getting a lot of people who had personal UFO experiences that they had never told anyone before. Yeah, don't sleep out in the bush or the outback by yourself. It'd be eerie. My mum got chased by something when she was young, out in the outback. She was travelling from one place to another, and it was really late at night, and she noticed something in the sky following her. So she went and hid in this place under trees and that until it left, and then kept coming home. I never asked her if she had missing time though, because it wasn't the conversations we had all the time. I was surprised that she told me that. Anyways. All right, let's go to the next thing. That's a bit of a video. It's more interesting. So we do have it. Is there any more pictures? Oh yeah, look at that. See, first class out in the outback. Okay, and there's some stuff there. All right, so let's go to this next one. I'll just share it. One moment. Share this tab instead. Okay, I'm going to put on full screen. Let's have a look and check this out, people. There is sound. I don't know what the sound is. I had a quick look at this last night. Welcome to the UFO capital of Australia. 4 hours north of Alice Springs and 12 hours south of Darwin. Whitecliff Well is considered the best location in Australia if you fancy seeing an unidentified flyby. The area has been saturated with decades Whitecliff Well history can be tracked back to the 1860s when it became a watering point on the overland telegraph. In World War II, it became a market garden centre to service troops in Alice Springs. These servicemen would regularly see strange lights in the sky. Today, the town is huge with it's like this developed by Linda Carcass. Whitecliff Well in 1995, pointing out the areas between the UFO sightings. This Canadian looks like innate stuff, That's funny. Oh, there are many theories that UFO hotspot. There's a Pine Gap, which is the place we should go and check out, while others. There you go, people. Where are we?
I was gonna ask where that well place was in relation to Pine Gap, but I couldn't remember the name of Pine Gap.
Oh right. Pull up a map.
Isn't the USA and Australia, that's their like joint UFO project?
Yeah. No.
It's
Pine Gap
supposed
is
to be a military base.
by American-owned military base. Yes.
Yeah.
All right, we'll go and have a look at a map and find out where we are, and see what's around there. Eh? See if we can see anything. I'll just find Google Maps and then. Google Maps, where are you? I'll just share that with you. And we'll go looking, eh? We'll go take a look. Have a gander. Got to watch that propaganda. All right, that's New Zealand, Auckland. Oh, we want. We're going in. That's a really good island to actually go and have a look at. There's some really interesting things on that island. Right, here we are. There we are. Yalara, Uluru, Alice Springs, Northern Territory, and we're looking for Pine Gap. Pine Gap. Pine Gap. All right, it's around the East Watch. There we are. So there's Pine Gap. Look, it's not really on the map. There it is. Look. Doesn't that look sus? There's lots of people that work at this place, but there's hardly anything there. That's because it's all underground. All right, so there's Pine Gap. We're going out, out, out. There it is there. And it's actually, oh no, Alice Springs is right there. See Alice Springs?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And what was the name of that other place? Wycliffe.
Yeah, Wycliffe Well.
Oh, what happened there? Oh, it's ages away, man.
Yeah, it's really far away.
Yeah, check it out. All right, that's it there. Yeah, it's a fair way away. But there's nothing out there. See, there's nothing there, really. Just a couple of little towns. But we're going to go in. Oh, we've got to find it again. So if you can't find anything. I actually sit here at night when I've got nothing to do, and you look at that and you think there's nothing there. But if you zoom right in and check it out, like you can get, see, look how close you can get. Look. And you can see these weird formations everywhere, like what the hell was that? There are things there, even though it doesn't look like it. Most people have got better things to do than to look around at nothing. Oh, look at that. It looks like a statue or something. That's an actual person. See that? Looks like a statue or something. Anyways, I actually see a lot of statues in the middle of nowhere, and there's broken down something. And we're looking at Pine Gap. That's what we're looking at. I get carried away. All right. So Pine Gap isn't far. It's close to Wycliffe, but it's not really that close. The whole area, there's stuff in the whole area because you're in the desert. And let's go and have a look at Pine Gap again. We'll just have a quick look. I'll show you what it is. Seems it belongs to you, fellas. It's a partnership. A partnership. So we have this partnership, and here we go. We're looking. There's not much to see. There's not even a car park. There's these funny white bobbly things.
Yeah, what are those?
I don't know.
I'll bet you those are nuclear reactors.
Could be.
I'll bet you they're like really small nuclear reactors.
Oh, that one looks like a golf ball. Giant golf ball.
Why do they have that geometric pattern? They look like the ball at Epcot.
Yeah, I've seen that on
That's
some
what it
radar
reminds me of.
systems.
That one's got a pattern. These ones look smooth. Let's have a look. They look kind of smooth. All right, so what we're doing, we're looking at Pine Gap at the moment because it's near Wycliffe, what we just looked at. And it's a strange place. Look at all these little white domes. Like, what the? I know this is underground, right? This goes underground.
Those smaller ones are probably water cisterns.
They are. Check it out.
But that's all like radar stuff, I'm sure.
Yeah, it is. It's a sound place. They're supposed to be able
Looks
to
like a
listen to
giant golf ball.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they giant golf balls. And this looks like the offices. Oh, look, they got a swimming pool for the workers.
Oh my gosh, look at that. Look at that lush green grass.
Yeah, in the middle of nowhere. That's from all the toilets and that letting out the water. What have we got here? Oh, them little dishes things, little dishes. All right, so
Hey,
that's
maybe
Pine
those
Gap.
round ball thingies they generate water maybe somehow.
Oh, I don't know. There's water out there. And you got to go through this before you get there, by the looks of it. Yep. You got to go past this area to get into there. Not really. You take a dirt road. That's what an Aussie would do. We go, fuck you. Oh, sorry. Bugger you. We just walk and we'll take a dirt track and we'll go in a different way. You can see 5-minute cities don't work out here. All right, so that's Pine Gap. But what's interesting about Pine Gap is all these rock formations, right? Let's check the rock. Look, it looks like it's in the middle of a giant track. See these? All right, we're going to check out some of these rock formations because they look like, oh, look, this is where the people live. They must be the workers. Go to work at Pine Gap. There you go. It's not far away. Or it could be, I don't know, I haven't been out there. Are they roads? They look like roads waiting to build houses, eh?
Could be.
Yeah. All right, we won't waste too much time because it can be a bit boring. But there's Wycliffe, there's Pine Gap, and it's out in the middle of nowhere where there's a lot of strange things going on. And there's lots to see out there if you've got the time to go and have a look. All right, but well, like I said, you look from the middle, you look from up here and it looks like there's nothing there, right? Nothing there at all. But there is. Just something like that there. When you zoom in, there's lots happening. All right, well, there you go. There's our UFO in Australia. Who would ever think the ball's gone wonky? And just to let you know, when I went there, so I'm here in Sydney, and we had to we travelled all the way down here, all the way up there to Uluru, and then all the way back down again. And we virtually went all the way across Australia.
Wow. Yeah, you guys, you made good, as long as you were gone, you made some good time.
Yeah, we did. Unfortunately, we had something happen and we had to rush home, but that's all right. On the way there was pretty good. On the way was good. So, yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff. We haven't got a lot of, this is where most of the people live, obviously, in the green belt, right? But a lot of people live out here. And one day, it used to be all green. Australia used to be all a rainforest once. And I think it's coming back to that. So, we're at 1.5 hours, and there you go. That's all I got. See? It's the ides, man. It's the ides.
Yep.
The 2-week warning.
Yeah, it's the ides. Where's my fire? And I'll just get my fire. I'll put our fire up. I did have something for you to look at. I'll just have a look. What have I got? Did I find anything this week? No, not really. This is a boring show because I didn't get anything. I'm going to put my virtual campfire that one.
Somebody's celebrating Catterday.
Oh, that doesn't work. All right, so there we go. We got the Ides of March and the UFO place in Australia that didn't do very well because
Leave it to you to tie UFOs and Julius Caesar all in one.
Yeah, right.
Not so accurate historical timeline, but fun nonetheless.
Yeah, trust me, it'll take you all over the place. Any weird, wonderful, beautiful, strange, if it fits the list, on it goes. So, yeah, I didn't have much. I was a bit wasted from swimming again. That's probably why. I'm just having a look to see what I haven't even got nothing funny for you this week. So we're going to talk about something though, because I want to talk last week about common courtesies and just nice things that we used to do in the world that are starting to disappear. Like here in Australia, it's a common courtesy if you come to Australia and you go shopping, and this is mainly for the women. I don't know if the blokes do it, but I presume they would because everyone helps everybody out here. You go shopping and there's an item that you're looking at and you're not sure because you never bought it before. Someone near you that has bought it and thinks it's a good one will say, "Excuse me, love, I've tried that, it's a good product." And then you go, "Thank you very much." Now, that's a common courtesy here in Australia. It's dying out because I went to do that for someone who I thought was Australian, and they were with their friends, and they were looking at an item, and I said, I bought them, they're really good. And they looked at me like I had sworn at them, or I was rude, or I did something really inappropriate. And the looks they gave me just pushed me away, and I thought, what's going on here? This is a common thing. We all help each other out. And if you look puzzled in a shopping centre and you don't know what you're looking at, someone's going to come and help you sort it out, whether it's a worker or just a normal person, another shopper. So I noticed these courtesies are kind of disappearing. Another one we have, if you've only got a few things in your shopping cart and the person before you's got heaps, they'll let you go first. That's a common thing we have. That's kind of still here. Some people don't do it there. Obviously, I think maybe they're not from Australia. I don't know. But do you have them kind of things over there, Polly, Jules?
Yeah, there's lots of that. I'm not going to get too specific about it, but it's just things that I view as, common courtesy or manners even, or sometimes I even describe it as just a complete lack of awareness of the impact that you have on the other people around you because of the space you're taking up, because of the way you smell, or because of the amount of noise you're making or your phone is making. It seems to be just non-existent now, unless you're from the old world. I don't know, maybe it's a European thing or something, but I was told not to interrupt people when you see them talking, especially if they're not talking to you. If two people are talking, you don't just walk up to them and interrupt them when they're speaking. You wait until there's a break at least, right?
Yeah.
This happens all the time here, or at least where I work, it happens all the time.
And then you say, "Excuse me."
On the extreme
and people don't use headphones.
No, they don't. On the extreme opposite of this, I remember when we had this conversation, and I spent some TLC time around the house today, catching up, trying to get ahead. And in between songs, I heard these lyrics that were, "I hate people when they're not polite." and it was Psycho Killer, the Talking Heads. So it was like, oh, Polly and Luna.
Common courtesy. Here in Australia, we can say "excuse me," but it depends on the way we say "excuse me" to what's going on. So if someone's being rude, we'll go "excuse me." It's just, and then we can be nice and go "excuse me." So we got that one word, and it's used in different ways. Because the first "excuse me" would have been interpreted as, you mean beep. Anyway, you get the drift. But we do have a lot of people overseas.
It's kind of like I feel like the manners or the courtesies that I'm referring to are kind of like common sense to me, at least. And they're either just systematically breeding common sense out of the general population on this planet, or it's not being taught in the same way that it was taught to me anymore. But I'm leaning towards it's really just being bred out of human existence. The whole idea of common sense and awareness of your fellow human is just gone now. At least where I live, it is.
No, I see it dwindling away. That's why I wanted to talk about it.
It's pretty sad.
Yeah, it is.
I honestly believe it's the source of a lot of conflicts, like a lot of domestic conflicts, not like in the house, but like, just like two strangers on the street or whatever. One happens to be in a bad mood, and because the other guy's being completely oblivious, bumps into him or something, then starts a fight or he gets stabbed. I mean, that's really what I think's going on with all the crime that's going on here.
Yeah, I've actually.
It's just people not being aware. Like,
yeah.
If there's like a crowd of people waiting in line for something, you don't just walk to the front of the line and talk to the guy who's serving the line of people. Like, who does? A lot of people do that, but that's what I say every time I see it. Who does that? Like, the line is clearly visible.
I think it's to do with different cultures, and I remember because here we have.
I don't accept that.
No, I don't.
I think some cultures use their culture as an excuse to be assholes.
Because if you go to someone else's house, you're being respectful, right? And someone else's house or someone else's country, it's the same thing, right? You be respectful. It's not your house. You don't go wrecking anything or poking around where you shouldn't be.
Well, Canada's different.
Yeah, well, same.
Canada's everybody's house. The main point that bugs me is Canada is sold to the rest of the world as one of the most tolerant, polite countries in the world. And the people that are showing up, or the people that at least the ones I'm talking about who are oblivious to common courtesies, they're not bringing any of the same tolerance or consideration with them at all. So I don't know why that rubs me the wrong way, but it does.
Because it's your house.
Well, it's not really mine either, because I moved here from Scotland and I grew up here. But I mean, so I don't know. It's just like, I mean,
maybe
if I went to another country, I would definitely want to know like what not to do to not be a dick. I don't want to do something by accident to look like a dick. So I would make sure, like, hey, are there anything I need to know before I go to this country that I'm not supposed to do?
Yeah.
And hopefully somebody would help me out with that before I went there.
Well, someone that you know from that country, you think they would. Like for an Aussie, if we went to England, they should tell us, don't say the word mate, because it means something different over there. It's actually an aggressive thing, not a friendly thing. And for Aussie going over there, yeah, mate, no worries, mate. We'll get our heads punched in straight away. So
I always say cheers, mate.
Someone would tell us. And before we go on, I want to say, hi, brother Donnie. We got a Donnie. Thanks for joining us, bro.
Yumma, Donnie.
Yumma.
G'day, Donnie. You're muted, though. Well, he's listening.
Yeah, he's just listening. That's all right. But yeah, common courtesies. Common courtesy. I think it lays more in the person's spirit, Polly. What's the substance of the spirit?
That's what I used to think, yeah. But then people started blaming it on culture, and I've never really accepted that. I'm like, you're just using culture as an excuse to be whatever it is you're being.
Yeah, you can have two people from the same culture. One's polite and kind, and the other one doesn't give a shit. That's people. People are people. Doesn't matter what country you're in or where you go. That's why I think it's the substance of their spirit, right? What are they? Where's their spirit like? Are they of the light? Are they lost? Are they, where are they? Where's their spirit coming from?
Well, I mean, maybe it is the other, because I kind of was sort of theorizing two different things. Maybe it's just, maybe I should reword being bred out. It's just not being taught anymore. Like, parents are different today than my parents are.
I wonder if it has to do with a generational dumbing down.
Yeah, I think that's definitely something to do with it. Like, people don't really parent their kids the same way because they have all these devices now to do it for them.
Yeah, they just give them an electronic device and go, "Yeah, play that," and that shuts them up.
Or send them off to free daycare, which is otherwise known as school.
Yeah, to get indoctrinated. But it still comes down to...
they've gotten better at it. So it's like they're just not teaching that now.
You've still got your individuals that don't conform to that. They pop out of nowhere. They don't conform to all that brainwashing stuff. They get there and go, "What's going on? I'm not like that." We're not like that. Do you know what I mean? So it still comes back to the substance of the spirit. Because you'll be taught that stuff going, "No, that's not true. This is true. That's bullshit,"
I do remember teaching my son some of these principles, because I don't no, I'm not trying to be like talking bad about his mom, but I just didn't think that she would bother teaching him that sort of thing, that the way, like, how to be aware of your surroundings when you're doing stuff in public, like how to not be offensive and not like get in people's way, like don't, like, for example, that example that you brought up in the store where the people are standing in front of something that you want to buy, your way of telling them to get the fuck out of the way is more polite than mine, because that's basically you're just helping them move out of the way so you can get what you need to get. I would just say, "Excuse me," 3 times. If they don't move, I'm grabbing it anyways, because you don't know what language they speak here.
Yeah.
You don't know if somebody even knows what that word means. That
true.
A lot of people don't speak English anymore.
Yeah, it's getting like that here. It's slowly creeping in further and further. Because where I live is, like, I'm an hour plus away from the main city. And it was never here till the last 2 years.
But we're all the same. We're all in the same boat. Look at us. United States, Canada, Australia.
Yeah.
It's part of the plan.
It is the mass saturation of the world. But things don't work. Like different countries, things don't work. Like stuff that works here won't work either somewhere else, and vice versa, because of the way the country is. Like I showed you a picture of the map. Try and keep people in. You've got so much places to run to. It's not funny.
And it's I mean, nobody talks about the North American Union. That fell out of the news cycle a long time ago, but it's got everything to do with the borders and the in the new world that's on the horizon. There are no borders. We all live in districts. North American Union, the European Union, that's it. I mean, we're one locale, no borders.
Yeah, you're right. Well, the white fellas put borders here, but traditionally we had, like, invisible borders. The river would obviously be a natural line. There's one mob lives on one side and another mob lives on the other side. The mountain range is a natural line. One mob lives on one side.
That
one
makes
mob
sense.
Lives on the other mob lives on the other side. Yeah. So that's how we did it. There were natural lines that said, yeah. Donnie,
why don't we all just stay in our own countries?
I know. That popular phrase, "stay in your lane."
Yeah, hey, stay in lane. Well, not
I
not
know
many
why people
Aboriginal
don't want to stay in their country.
leave Australia. Why?
It's because their country sucks.
No, because they can come to another country and get all this free stuff.
Yeah, Polly. Sorry, Donnie, give us a yarn on territories, cultural way.
And then they turn that country into the same country that they.
G'day, Yama, g'day. Welcome to G'day Saturday. We haven't seen you for a while.
Well, it's basically what you just said there, Lena. The borderline was usually a river, a mountain range, a certain rock, and you respected it. You went there, you asked permission to cross their country, and they'll give you the permission to go through. And it was mostly out of respect, really. If you put it down, when it comes to the crunch. Yeah, I'm sort of halfway through this conversation a bit, so I'm just sitting back here listening in so I can figure out what you're talking about.
No, we're just talking about not being courteous and polite. And
the difference today.
I find it up around here, people are somewhat courteous and polite.
There's no chivalry anymore.
Yeah, well, I have to. Let's see. Well, I'll give you an example. On Thursday last week, I was trying to find some certain type of soap. There was a lady beside me, and I'm trying to find the soap, and I'm talking to myself.
Use respect. Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
It's just down to respect. Exactly. Yeah, that's not being taught anymore. I don't think.
I don't believe so.
Because now for a border, you need to put up a freaking wall.
Well, why would we need to put a wall up? Like, just show respect. Like, that's their land.
Because there's no respect. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. If you want to go across it, you get permission.
Yeah, like I said, you're in someone's
That makes sense
house.
to me. I don't understand why it's not like that.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, you wouldn't walk through somebody's backyard.
Well, up here in the country, there's still a little bit of respect, and as you would put it, like more modern we get, that respect seems to go out the window a bit now, but we still get it up in the country here. In the city, they just barge past you. Don't want to know you.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like that in the country up here, too. If you go north from the city.
Yeah.
It's like the further north you go, the more respect you get.
Yeah, well, like I lived in Brisbane, and if you spoke to somebody, they think you were going to bloody take their wallet off them.
True.
Yeah.
Weird things happen like that.
You got to wear a suit, Donnie.
Right?
You got to wear a suit, Donnie, and they won't think you're trying to take their wallet.
Yeah.
Hey, but animals don't have lines like we do. The animals' lines are different. Like a fish stays in the water, right? When a bird stays in there, it'll come down to the ground sometimes, but it comes down to the ground knowing it's in someone else's house and there really could be danger. So it's respectful. It does what it does and then leaves.
Yeah, poops on the ground and then leaves.
Yeah. The kangaroos, they just roamed around in their area. There were no fences or borders. But when you got to a different, when the ground started to change and the temperature and all that, and the terrains changed, the kangaroos from that point onward would be a little bit different. maybe bigger, smaller, maybe there's more wallabies instead of kangaroos, but they were the natural borders, and it just went by the climate and the surrounding terrain on what it looked like, natural borders. But humans don't have that. We'll put on warm clothes and go to somewhere we're not meant to be. What is it? That's where something else comes in. That's where we're different. We have this need to go into our neighbour's yard and check it out. Not everybody. I'm happy staying where I am. Like, you don't see many Aboriginal people.
That's the thing. I'm not happy staying where I am, but I would have been like 5 years ago. I would have been fine. But now it's not. I'm thinking about moving somewhere.
Yeah, relocation.
Yeah. Or find a way to be mobile or something. I don't know.
Mobile. Yeah,
I don't know what the solution is because the rents in this place are going crazy.
Yeah, mobility is great. Be like a turtle. Get your house on your back somehow, a mobile home or something. Yeah, that's a great way of living if they let you live that way.
Turtle.
Yeah, turtles. So, yeah. Common courtesies, and because we're in the age of technology, there's courtesies, wouldn't you say? Like on the show here, we don't talk over each other. Like there's a whole different realm of courtesies in that never existed before. Do you reckon?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, there is. There's chat room courtesies, and yeah, totally. But it's like it comes down to what Donnie was saying. It really boils down. When you boil all these things down, it comes down to respect.
Yeah.
And it's not just for the people around you, it's for yourself as well.
Yes. Well, that doesn't start with there. We're going back to the substance of the spirit, see? If you've got respectful spirit, it's going to come out of you and go around you, and you'll get the same respect back most of the time. Most of the time.
Yeah. Cheers
All
to
right.
that.
Yeah. Respect to that. Respect to you listening. All right. So anything ever interesting happening? Hey?
Planting some more seeds tomorrow. That's about it.
I'll tell you something that happened to me. You probably
and I'm doing a radio show.
Oh, yeah. Probably doing a show. And listen out for that, everyone, because you get
every Saturday, but tomorrow's special. Yeah.
Tomorrow's special, Jules will be on there.
This show's been a long time coming. I'm glad she's freed up for it.
It's been a long time coming.
Look out in the future because you'll be getting Brother Donnie on there as well. That'll be an excellent yarn.
Yeah, that'll be good. Just to find something to talk about. Maybe we'll talk about respect.
Hey, respect in our culture, it's respect's major. You get in big trouble for not being respectful. Hey, come on.
I think respect and karma are tied.
Yeah, we've still got like 15 minutes or so. Donnie, can you tell us a bit more about our culture and respect and just little ways that we do that? Off the top of your head?
Yeah, sorry about that. I was making a cup of tea. Now, what was that you were saying about?
I was just saying, could you tell people a little bit more about
yeah, well, respect. Respect means anything. Like, you can respect your neighbours, respect your bush, respect your animals that live with you, or respect your family. If you show respect to somebody, that respect comes back. Yeah. Regardless, how would you put it? You bared your teeth at somebody, somebody's going to bare your teeth back at you. But you show respect to them, they'll eventually show respect back to you.
what would happen in a situation? You had your stuff sitting there and touched it without your
No, that would be disrespectful. See, if you were going to touch my stuff, permission needs to be asked, like, could I use your tools? And I would either say yes or no. But that also shows respect too. If I say no to you, you're going to have to respect that, wouldn't you? If I say yes to you, you would have to respect that I gave it to you alone. Then you have to respect what I gave you. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. And that when you give that back in the way that it was the same, that's showing respect. And if you say, thank you for that, let me use that, that's respect as well.
Yep.
And it goes a long way to show respect. In
sure
my
does.
books, like my old uncle used to say, if you show twice the respect and only get half the respect back, you're still getting respect, aren't you?
True.
That's wise.
Yeah. So respect does go a long way. Like, it can be used in anything. You say somebody coming at you and you step aside. That's a show of respect. Things like that. It's just small things. If you go on somebody else's country, you wait and ask for respect. Like, I want to go on your permission to go on your land. And they say yes, that's a show of respect. You go across their land and you don't do any harm to it, and you respect what you going through their land, that's another sign of respect anyway.
And in the old way too, you had to stay in that place before you entered and wait for someone to come.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. That's definitely right.
You could be waiting for a while sometimes.
Yeah. Sometimes it's like waiting for a train.
Yeah, and if they don't like it,
well, if your permission is denied to go on that in somebody's country, you should respect that. Like, because the next time, if you say, well, made a bird of paradise fly up your nose, that's not showing respect. And when you go want to cross that people's country again, they're not going to be nice as they were before. So the best thing to do is thank you very much. Then I'll come back another time and ask, can I have permission to try across your country? So that's a show of respect to them people, that you show respect back, even if they said no.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You understand what I'm talking about, where I come from there?
Yep.
I can respect that.
Yeah. So respect is it can go a long way. Even if somebody's nasty to you, and you show respect to them, after a while, that person being nasty to you, well, this fella here, he's being nice to me, I should show nice back. That's showing your respect towards him. After a while, it will wear off onto him or her, whatever. Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this, Donnie. Should respect be given freely, or should it be earned?
That's a bit of a hard one there, Polly.
Yeah, it's a brain.
Well, yeah. Well, I show respect to somebody. I give it that freely.
Right.
Right. The other one is, if you were to do something to get respect, yes, I can see where you're coming from there, to earn respect. Yes, I can see that.
I mean, for instance, walking on the street, for me, it's easy to respect people because they're just they're doing what they're doing. They're out of respect, common courtesy.
Yeah.
I happen to be walking. You hit me, and cause injury or mental or whatever kind of injury I have. That's when you're gonna have to earn respect.
Yeah.
I think it should
like
be given freely. But when it comes to earning it, it means that you probably disrespected someone.
Yeah, well.
We're echoing, Donnie.
What was that?
We're echoing.
Yeah. Oh, hold on a sec there. It might be my microphone that's doing it.
It's all good. It's been a blast. Thank you for having me on. A long day. But I wanted to thank you for having me on, and I want to thank Polly and Donnie for the yarn as well. And everybody in chat. I can't take my leave without letting you guys know you're awesome. So keep shining, and I will be back before you know it. Until then, love you all.
Yeah, love you too, Jules. Thanks for coming on. And
yeah, love you too, Jules.
My pleasure. Love you guys. Love everyone.
Yeah.
I'll just
See you
want
tomorrow.
to say, oh, we're echoing. Say good day to Ken and Russ. Future use. You were in there, Donnie, but you didn't.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyone else? Anything else?
No, I'm good.
Good. Hang on, I had to unmute Donnie because we're echoing and you can't hear. So, all right, we're going to close it up now. We're at the 2-hour mark. Hope you enjoyed that little fireside yarn.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Donnie. Thank you, Donnie.
No worries there, sis.
I don't know if you got to catch it.
We're still live, aren't we?
Yeah, we're still live. On that note, we're going to get going. I'll just pop back in for a second. Where am I? Yeah. I'm here. All right, everyone. Thank you for coming this week. Hope you had a good time. It's been a bit all over the place today, but that's all right. We'll see you next week. Hopefully I can find something really juicy. Yeah, stay centered. Loved you on this day. Creator loves you. Be the best that you can be. Be the best that Creator made you. And we'll see you next week. We'll just say goodbye to our guests here. So, Polly, thanks for coming. And
always a pleasure, Luna. Thanks for having me again.
Thank you. And thanks for
See
your
you
information.
next week.
Yeah, we'll see you next week. And thanks for the ides. Thanks for the information about the ides. I'm going to make a little banner about
No
the
worries.
ides now. And Donnie, thank you.
Yeah. Sorry I'm a bit late. I just got back home.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us. And yeah. Thank you for watching and hanging out. And we're going to get going. Go out on. rock music. Yellow.
Yellow.
Bye.